This is what average prices were before the pandemic compared to what they are today.
A frozen pizza, $3.77. Today, $5.15. A dozen eggs, $2.36 to $3.84. Milk, $2.76. Today, $3.75. Toilet paper went from $7.08 to $9.75. Laundry detergent went from $7.83 to $10.86. Cereal, $3.36. Today, $4.50. Chips, $2.26. Today, $3.26. Butter, $3.78 to $4.78.
You will now need to spend $137 for the same basket of items that used to cost $100 in 2019. Inflation in the US has been on a wild ride over the past 5 years.
Just in milk, it's gone up. Everything's gone up.
After being relatively stable for years, the pandemic hit. Supply chains got tangled and prices started to rise.
I can't take the inflation costs anymore.
In 2021, inflation rates shot up to levels not seen in decades, reaching nearly 10% at its peak in 2022. While it has cooled down a bit since then, the effects of that spike are still being felt across the country, especially in everyday spending.
And it's just the first time in my life where a luxury like eating out, even just once a month, is now off the table because it's so expensive.
I cook at home more because it's very healthier and it's less expensive.
I'm even going to Costco with my mom to see just how bad things have become.
Oh my God. This used to be like $14, $15 a pound. Now it's $23 a pound. 118. It doesn't even look that good.
This Motel 6 in California costs $183 per night. And remember, Motel 6 originally started because rooms here were $6 a night.
I work probably like 3 to 4 jobs. Always looking for extra things. That's just kind of how the economy operates now. Everyone I know here has at least 2 jobs that sustain themselves and stay afloat.
Rent has also been a huge pain point. See, across the country, average rent prices have jumped by 18 to 20% since 2020, making it harder for people to find affordable housing.
We can't eat out. We can't buy clothes. I never thought that I'd be unironically buying secondhand clothes.
And it's not just these big ticket items. Gas, utilities, and even small things like your favorite coffee order have all seen price hikes.
If you want a coffee in LA, that's like $10 with tax, tip, everything like that.
It's like everybody, small businesses, everything's been affected. It's terrible.
I've been here for 10 minutes and I still haven't found anything that is $1.
The dollar store has always been a go-to for cheap essentials, and it has not been immune. In fact, many locations have had to raise prices to $1.25 or $1.50 for most of their items. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but for a store known for a strict everything's a dollar model, that's a big deal. People who rely on these stores for budget-friendly shopping feel more pinched than ever.
The Dollar Tree is closing 1,000 stores. I would actually think a store like this would be thriving right now because of inflation, because I just came from a grocery store and the prices here are crazy different. Like this, I just bought actually at a grocery store yesterday, $8, and here it's $1.25.
Okay, but how did we get here? The causes of inflation have been a perfect storm, the kind of thing you see once in a lifetime. The pandemic disrupted supply chains, slowing production of goods while demand stayed high. Think about things like toilet paper or cars. Then there's the role of China, one of America's biggest trading partners. With China's strict COVID lockdowns, factories shut down, further delaying supply lines.
China was offering us cheap goods, but the cost of labor is going up in China. So obviously cost of goods are going up. And then you have on top of that the tariffs and the taxes associated with different things.
The US government started spending more to support the economy and giving out money so people could stay afloat. But as prices surged across everyday items, the labor market got tight. See, millions didn't want to work for fear of getting the virus. And simultaneously with tighter borders, well, that meant that immigration was halted. And the US is extremely dependent on immigrants to keep the economy running. All of this was a perfect recipe for inflation. And it impacted not just what you buy, but wages, real estate, and dining out. As of 2023, the average price for dining out in the US rose by 8.5% compared to the previous year.
Now we dine more at the house.
That means the cost of restaurant meals has significantly outpaced wage growth and grocery prices.
I just got a 5% raise last year as well, so that totals up to 10%, but everything has risen in cost about 30%. We still don't have luxury money. So often we'll go, oh, we used to go to this restaurant all the time.
See, while wages have gone up, it's not enough to keep up with inflation. In 2022, wages grew by around 5%, but inflation outpaced that at 8 to 9%. 20%. So even though people are earning more on paper, the real purchasing power of that paycheck has shrunk. It's like taking 2 steps forward, but 3 steps back. And then there was the real estate prices surging as people wanted bigger homes since we were staying home so much. To understand the extent of inflation, I head to Costco with my mom.
Oh my gosh. This used to be like $14, $15 a pound. Now it's $23 a pound, 118. It doesn't even look that good. We haven't even shopped at Costco. We spent $400. The pastries and the stuff. This used to be definitely $9.99. The salmon, it's gone up by 30%. Minimum wage went from $7 to $20. The food has gone up by, say, 30%. Am I missing something? Why are we freaking out? We used to make $7.50 working as a minimum wage. Now it's $20. I get it. The price of homes and rents and all of that. Childcare has gone up significantly. But the grocery in isolation, I don't think is as big of a deal as like childcare. That you used to pay your babysitter $5-6 an hour, now you're paying $20-25 an hour. And renting a place, then I can see just keeps adding up. Now you have to pay more rent, you have to pay for more babysitter and the grocery.
Your favorite bag of chips? It's probably a few ounces lighter than it used to be. Companies are quietly reducing product sizes to keep prices stable, so you might be paying the same, but you're getting less. A report from Consumer World found that shrinkflation affected 20% of consumer goods in 2022. Brands like Charmin reduced the number of sheets per roll. A mega roll used to have 264 sheets, but now it's down to 244 sheets. That's about an 8% reduction in what you get for the same price. General Mills reduced the size of its family-sized cereal boxes from 19.3 ounces to 18.1 ounces, shrinking the package by about 6%. But the price remained unchanged, leaving families paying the same for less breakfast. And then Frito-Lay reduced the amount of chips in a bag by about 20%. See, a family size of Doritos went from 9.75 ounces to 9.25 ounces, while the prices stayed the same. Consumers who find out are upset, but most end up shrugging their shoulders and buying anyway. So the pandemic put us in this situation, but how did the US compare to other developed nations? Well, compared to the other G7 nations, the US saw a faster and higher spike in inflation post-pandemic. See, countries like Japan and Canada did experience inflation, but the US was hit harder, largely due to higher demand and stronger stimulus packages. Now, most G7 nations are seeing inflation rates cool, but the US remains slightly above average. Overall, not only is inflation going down, but grocery prices actually have gone down themselves recently. See, not just the rate of inflation, but the actual prices. The current inflation rate is just 2.5%, the lowest since the start of 2021. And that's a big difference. And it's thanks to a few things like better supply chains, falling energy prices, and the Federal Reserve aggressively raising interest rates to slow things down. See, the Federal Reserve plays a big role here. They've raised rates to slow inflation, but if inflation keeps dropping, they might ease up and lower rates again to avoid hurting the economy too much. But despite this, ask almost anyone and they're not exactly leaping for joy.
Luxuries are just kind of out because now groceries are the luxury, but a necessity at the same time. And health issues increasing as they are, health comes down to what you eat. So we can't give up on organic produce. That's what's going to, in the long run, keep us away from the costly medical expenses, which continue to increase.
Rising wages are a good thing, but if the wages go up too fast, companies might continue raising prices to cover these higher labor costs. And this could keep inflation around longer than we'd like.
I just have to be concerned with my own well-being and my own financial health. Just be better at how I spend my money.
And then there's big global issues like energy crises or tensions with major countries like China, which could throw a wrench in everything and push inflation back up. But the damage caused from higher prices has a massive ripple effect on everything from wages to housing and even America's small businesses.
We're eating out way less. We're staying home and eating, which sucks because we're a small business and we like to support small businesses. I've seen a lot of really awesome creators make restaurants and everything, and they've gone under big time.